not. It's a full moon today for many of us, and I would like to welcome you here. Thank you very, very much for being with me today. Many of you have been waiting for a while. Thank you for your patience once again with all of these slight technological glitches. But as always, at the time of a full moon, it's a full moon in Libra, trying to find balance here. Libra, the scales. I'm a Libra sun myself. So I'm always trying to find this perfect balance. Yes, what matches? Always looking for things to match. For Libra, I thought I'd wear my heart today because Libra is very much about the heart energy between people. It's about sharing. And this new moon is at 18 degrees and 42 minutes of Libra. And we've got the sun, of course, opposite the moon, always at the time of a full moon. So the sun is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars energy. And the moon is in Libra, which is ruled by Venus energy. So we've got this masculine and feminine energies at the time of this full moon. Now, usually I do my moon videos a couple of weeks in advance, but I'm learning to change. I'm learning to be adaptable. I'm learning to see that our world is in deep changes, and I think we've got to be ready to be a little more adaptable, especially as the eclipses coming up now, when we start in May, June time, are going to be immutable signs of Gemini and Sagittarius. So it's important to do your best to learn how to adapt whatever it is that you do. So here I am with you on the full moon, which is not usually the case. So full moons bring things to a head. They bring things out into the open. Often things that have been simmering beneath the surface, all of a sudden blow up. There are things blowing up in the press right now. I don't need to tell you some of those things. Videos are being pulled off YouTube a lot of the time for things that are, shall we say, not approved by the various algorithms. We've got Jupiter conjunct Pluto at the time of this full moon, and Saturn widely making a square, a T-square with this full moon. So it's a cardinal T-square. What's this about? Well, I think we're seeing lots of tensions going on. Tensions in relationships, tensions in finances, tensions in having to stay home for some of us. Some of it's more difficult than others. Tensions in worrying about loved ones, tensions about health and well-being. So there's all these energies going on right now with this full moon in Libra. So we go between full moon, the next will be a new moon, which will be in Taurus, again Venus ruled. And Venus is going to be for a long time in Gemini. Ruler of this moon is Venus. And Venus is going to be in Gemini. It's going to be going retrograde in Gemini from May the 13th to June the 25th. So it's unusual for Venus to stay in a sign for such a long time. But the air, Venus in Gemini suggests the transmission of this virus. We've got Pluto and Jupiter involved in this full moon. So this is the energy of going to an extreme. So you might be going to an extreme in one way and then feeling as though, maybe it's eating. I had a friend today, she just wanted carbs all day. For me, my extreme, because Mars is also square Uranus, there's so many aspects going on. Thank you. So it's like a peak of a cycle when we come to a full moon. We've got the British Prime Minister, sadly, in hospital right now in intensive care. And of course, we're all saying prayers that he's going to recover. We don't want bad energy for anybody, yes? Doesn't matter who they are. Looking at his chart, I just took a little quick peek actually. Of course, he's a Gemini. Again, Gemini ruling the lungs. And he's Libra rising, so looking at his 6th house of health, it's ruled by Neptune. So Neptune is currently square to his Mercury in Gemini. So this would indicate a weak square to Neptune. I would say conserve your energy. Really build your immune system up. Don't overdo it. My guess is that, you know, he probably, with all the things that are going on, he may really have just overdone it. And then if there's anything with the Gemini energy, you would be looking at breathing and the lungs involved there. He's also, his progress moon is conjunct to his natal Neptune. Yeah, it's big things, yeah, and he really needs a lot of rest, and I hope that he is going to rest as much as possible. I'm sad that it's been enforced upon him. So this extreme energy is with us all year. It's getting accentuated right now. For me, I had a bit of a flood yesterday evening in my apartment. I couldn't believe it. It was like all over the wall, all over one wall. It's completely wet. Thank you very much for the people that are contributing to my channel today. Thank you very much. Tanvi, appreciate it greatly. Things coming to a head. And for me, it's in my 4th house, so I didn't know what it was going to be. And of course, it was my living situation in my home. Now, luckily, I was able to clean up another apartment nearby. And so it was a big cleaning job with that moon in Virgo yesterday. And I slept in a different place. Bit disruptive. Again, full moons can be disruptive. And Uranus being square to Mars, you might find yourself a bit... we've had biblical rain all week, freezing cold, and when I speak to my friends in England, one of them was out in his garden in his shorts, and I'm like, this is weird. Yes, so extremes of weather, possibly some seismic events. I actually did something I don't really normally do, but the dog next door was barking so loud and so long, again in the night. I went out and I really shouted. I gave it what for. And it really went quiet. I was just so frustrated, what with everything that had gone on. So you might have these frustrated moments. I didn't feel happy about that afterwards, but okay, it happened. So these things may happen. So as we are in this year of extremes, Jupiter and Pluto now together, and again in June, end of June, and again in November. So all year we have to look out for exaggerations. Where are you exaggerating things? Where are things being exaggerated out in the press? Yes, you're right, maybe the poor dog was cold. I don't think so. I think it means a very big furred, lots of fur. I think he was just chasing cats and things. But anyway, so where are you going to an extreme? Where are we seeing extremes in our world? So maybe, I'm not saying this is so, but maybe certain people think that these lockdowns are extreme. Some people don't think they're extreme enough. Then I think as we move through the year, when this eases off, and I think it will ease off, we have to look at then whether we get overconfident, Jupiter kind of like a bit cocky sometimes, overconfident that everything's all right now, we can start flying, we can start driving, we can start socializing, we can start doing all these things too soon. Have to be really careful that it's not going from one extreme, lurching from one extreme to lurching to another. And you might find that in your own world. I mean, last night I was all ready to go back to Athens. Honestly, I was. I thought, oh no, mold and, you know, all this health issues, everything. It was all going on. And then I managed to calm myself. I thought, hey, look, you know, Pluto, Jupiter, don't get yourself into such a tizzy. Look at the things you're grateful for. Look at the miracle that another apartment was available next door, and that I was able to get it, and that my friend helped me clean, and we all got it nice and warm. So make sure you don't overreact, and then make sure you don't underreact. It's going to be quite a challenge, and this full moon in Libra is reminding you, really appreciate it, thank you, many of you have liked it, but there's a lot more online, and I'm hoping if you're still with me, you're my soul family, it's just a helpful thing. Thank you. So, thank you. So, what's Libra about? Let's look at Libra and what that's about. So, Libra is very much about sharing. Libra wants relationship. Libra wants to be connected to another person or persons. So it's a wonderful time for looking at what can I share with other people. Wow, thank you for liking, guys. All of a sudden we're up to 444 likes. Thank you. What can I share here? What can I do for another person? Really think about that. Yeah. I was talking to my lovely auntie today in Manchester, who's going to be 98, bless her heart. And she was saying that somebody was saying that, you know, she was getting upset with her partner and he's getting on her nerves and this and that and the other, really complaining about her relationship. And she said to him, she said to her, to this girl, she said, give him a cuddle, love him. If not, I'll give him a cuddle. Yeah, really, let's try to really appreciate the people you're with. I'm not saying it's easy, but there are so many people who are alone at this time who don't have anybody to cuddle. For me, then at least maybe just connect with a cuddly toy or something that you have a relationship with. Yeah. So what we've got going on is a lot of air energy. Air, of course, passing the virus around, but air also sharing words, sharing knowledge, sharing information. We've got Saturn in Aquarius until July. Saturn, restriction, Aquarius, freedoms. Okay? So we're seeing that. But also, Saturn in Aquarius can be a time when we really earn our living, Saturn, doing something tangible, through Aquarius, the internet. And we're doing it. We're educating ourselves using the internet. We're learning, we're teaching, we're sharing information. So, and yes, what I'm noticing is, and thank you, it's a lovely comment, my smile beats a cuddle. What I'm finding now is that energetically, we've got Saturn in Aquarius, we've got this supermoon in Libra because it's so close to the Earth. And we've got ruler of Libra in Gemini. So all this air energy, and we are learning, I feel, how to be connected in the digital realm. Because I certainly feel beautifully connected with you right here, right? Really, it's exciting. I feel like I'm going to be with my family. And it's just, I think we're finding groups online. I think we're finding classes online. I think we're finding things where we don't feel so lonely, where this is uplifting. And maybe this is going to be a new way of the future, that we are going to be connecting more. Maybe we're not going to be flying so much in aeroplanes, and Saturn in Aquarius would suggest a reduction of air travel in these next years to come, or different ways of travelling in the air. I was watching the birds today thinking, oh gosh, aren't they so free, just flying from one thing to another. But we're free here, aren't we? We're free to interact with one another, at least for the moment, until Saturn in Aquarius may bring certain censorships or limitations to what we can do. But certainly Saturn in Aquarius, to me, indicates education through digital media. So the fact that, and thank you to people who are supporting me, thank you, and thank you for your likes. So Venus rules your money, and it rules your love. And these are things that are coming up right now, yes? And maybe there are no simple answers, but the best thing you can do is to begin to think about nurturing yourself. And for me, Teddy's great, yeah, really does it. Nurturing for me is also being with you guys. It's a very nurturing experience, especially when we've got the interaction. We can have great big e-hugs together. I've just seen a wedding online of doctors, and they had this lovely wedding online with all their friends and their colleagues. Okay, it's not the same as being in person, it's different, but it sure would be difficult to get us all into one room at the moment. And isn't it wonderful that we're all here from different places, different galaxies, many of us. So I'm seeing these energetic online relationships really developing in new and wonderful ways. And I think that many of you who've been a little shy maybe of getting involved online, or going live yourselves, or doing more things online, you may find you've got an expertise, you've got a talent, you've got something that other people could benefit from. Well, with this full moon in Libra, why don't you share it? Maybe you're a great writer. Maybe you can teach people to paint. Maybe you can teach music. Maybe you can teach breathing and stretching exercises. So I've got a lovely friend in Vienna, and he's a master yoga teacher, but he's very introverted. And he's been very resistant to doing anything. And ever since this whole thing broke, just for the last couple of weeks, he's doing live streams of his yoga classes. And I'm very excited. I'm going to join one tomorrow night. Now, he's told me not to announce it. So I've announced it, but I've not told you who it is. He's asked me to try it for myself first, because he's a little overwhelmed by Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. What is your individual thing that you bring? And what can you share with others that would be tiny? But he's beautiful. So just know that this is a time for actually doing it, taking the action. So Mercury is conjunct to Neptune in Pisces. So this can bring a little confusion. It can also bring a lot of creativity. And it also brings this feeling that we're all in this same boat. We're all here together, yeah? And we really are now. I think that's what's unique about this situation. Yes, not everybody is necessarily in lockdown. But the unique thing is that globally, we are in this together. So it's almost like we used to be on different pages of a book. Yeah, one was on this chapter, or we were even reading different books. Now we're reading the same book and we're pretty much on the same page. So the power, Jupiter, Pluto, because this is power for great prosperity, great wealth that's going on at this time. Huge wealth. So we can create great wealth together. There's a lot of philanthropy going on, a lot of helping one another financially. Landlords saying, okay, if you can't pay the rent, don't pay for a while, have a holiday. There's all kinds of giving going on. I must thank so many of you who've joined me on Patreon. I've recently joined Patreon. You can find me at Bracha Goldsmith. Yes, I'm going to be doing more posts on there. I haven't done it just lately, but I will do more. So there's an exchange of energies. Yeah, I love giving. And it's just this energy of, even if you're just giving a little bit of yourself. Yes, my auntie was. So this moon energy has everything to do with earth energy. 4 planets are in earth signs and 4 planets are in air signs. So the earth is about being very real, about our logistics and the things that we're dealing with, the economy. It's going to be a very big issue coming up. Again, I keep saying I'm going to deal with the economy in a separate video because I feel it deserves its own space. So we're dealing with all structures that are changing with all the Capricorn energy. And we're also dealing with the air energy, which has to do with transmissions. What are we transmitting in the space between things? I love the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he talks a lot about going into the space between your ears, the space around your body. Yeah, because there's so much that's going on in the space. It's like we can't see the virus droplets, can we? Scientists tell us they're there in the air, but we can't see them. We can't see the virus unless it's magnified. So we're dealing with things and the space between things and the power of that space. So I think that it's a really, really powerful time that we're in. Jupiter-Pluto can bring a lot of consequences for debt. Okay, Pluto rules debt. And certainly we've been living way beyond our means as countries. Many countries are bankrupt, long bankrupt, and still would be printing money. So there are consequences to living beyond your means. And that's coming up now, and will be coming up with this Pluto-Jupiter. But we've also got an opportunity to create miracles. Yeah, to create, Jupiter-Pluto is to really use this energy for the power of the good for all and not just for the few. And that Saturn in Aquarius is new structures now that are more equitable and more fair for all of us. Yeah, look how quickly, more than 1,000 people online with me. Thank you for being online with me, my family. Thank you for liking the video. Please like it. Thank you. And thank you for being with me. Thank you for sharing at the time of this Libra full moon. So it's a time of sharing. It's a time of caring. It's a time of giving to yourself and giving to others. And let's have this crisis bring out the best in one another. We've seen it during wartime eras. We had Jupiter and Pluto going on at the last time of this flu pandemic that happened with the Spanish flu. So we've got this Jupiter-Pluto again, but this time, let's resolve to create some miracles as well as we go through these challenges together. So from my heart to your hearts, and from Teddy here, I'm wishing you a very healthy, may you be safe, may you be well, and a loving full moon in Libra. Thank you for being with me. Very big e-hug from my heart. Thank you for listening. And very shortly I will do a Pleiadian message, probably in about half an hour from now. So stay tuned for those of you that would like the Pleiadian message. It will be a new thing for me to do it live. And I have to say, scary as well, but it's all about stepping out and going for it. Thank you, and bye for now.